Moonlight and Other Stories is Tuisku, Hiltunen's debut album. It's an anthology collection of 3 different comics. They include rainbow partners and families, but more than that, they all are dealing with leaving, departing, and saying goodbye to your loved ones. My copy in here is in Finnish, which is called Kuutamo ja muita kertomuksia. The collection begins with the Moonlight Diner, which is easily the best story out of the 3 and takes also most of the pages, because this story takes almost half of the whole album. The story is about these 2 guys who have feelings for each other but haven't seen each other for a very long time. Both have lived their lives, so they have a lot of catching up to do, and it's going to get messy. This is Hiltunen's latest work in this collection, and they have perfected their style for this one. The paneling, for example, has much more variation than in the other 2 stories. The color scheme is much more thoughtful and consistent, and even though I personally don't find it very attractive to have long conversations in comics with talking heads, this particular comic still kind of works because it feels as it's more slice of life. I am usually a bit skeptical with things like this because I feel that if the whole comic is all about conversation, then it could just be a text. Why couldn't it be just a novel? Why do we need the images when most of the story is carried by the words? With this particular comic, I still think that because of the twist at the end, yes, there is going to be a twist, it sort of forgives the long conversation. The ending also levels up the story so that it feels much more earned to reach the ending. I won't spoil the twist for you, so you can just experience it by yourself, but this is the comic I will recommend to you from this particular anthology. As for the other 2 comics in this album, they are nice at best, just not on the same level as the first one. We have a family reunion in space and a historical setting of 2 girls who are trying to figure out, do they like each other or not? The story of the girls is a little bit better to my liking. It's sweet and short and could be a beginning for a bigger story. However, the visual style is quite lacking when compared to the first one. For example, I don't much care how these panels are cropped and how the angles are used. The upper row is a little bit better than the below ones. There could be so much more drama in the stairs to make the scene more impactful. Now I can only sense that, okay, they are in a hurry, yes, but still I would like to see it much more emphasized. This usually happens with beginner artists who are trying to move their characters from place 1 to place 2, and it's a little bit more important to just make it happen than to think how to make it happen so that it is much more impactful and meaningful and overall not forgettable. The below part is also very much beginner comic artist thing because they are wasting panels. They have 4 panels which all tell the same story. The girls are going up and the other one is eager and the other one is hesitant. In a bit more experienced hands, this all could be done in one single panel. Still, this gives a nice perspective how the artist has grown over the years. And about the final thing, the space story, I didn't like it, so I don't have much to say about it. I find the script quite nice, it could work. I just wish the setting was more down to earth. Let's say, for example, that the family was fixing cars instead of space shuttles. The whole space thing kind of ticks me off. I'm not a science fiction fan, so this is not really my place to say. There are perhaps people who are extremely into this, but for me it's just it seems like a wasted potential and so unnecessary. It's not used in any way, it's just where everything takes place, but it is not important. You could switch it up with anything and this story would still be the same. This all could happen in whichever city where they, for example, fix cars, because the whole point of the story is that the main character has fled their family and they have been on the run for a long time, and now their space shuttle is broken, so they have to go to the station, and there they will see their family members who will do the repairs so that the main character can once again blast off. One can of course argue with me that the space is a good setting. It can highlight the fact that how lonely the main character is, and it can highlight how distant they are from their family. It also offers more opportunities for the main character to reach when the universe is so vast. However, for me, it just makes it harder for me to relate to the main character, which is insane because her story is actually quite similar to mine. So perhaps you can understand what's my issue in here. For the final words, I can recommend this album, especially if you are interested in rainbow pairings, family issues, or you just want to enjoy some wholesome script writing.